I wanted to do a quick session into seeing if there's an issue. Here I have the code deployed to Gigalixer, and deleting works. You don't see a blue bar here, but when I add a box, it's quite slow. I see that blue loading bar there, but updating the position doesn't take too long. It kicks in. We don't see a blue bar. And I think it's because it happens behind the scenes, whereas the form is waiting for a response. So let's open up the code and take a look at what's happening there. So we have our space edit live view. Let's go space edit live. Here it is. And add entity is the message we're getting. And the first thing we're doing is we're triggering an autosave if we're suddenly clicking on the add button, but we were in the middle of editing a form. This shouldn't block, because if we look over here, it's doing this, it's processing, so it withdrew. Okay, so only if you had something to save, which we don't have something to save, so it should return immediately, I think. It should just say didn't autosave. So this should be quick. It checks a couple of things. And in fact, if we open up the logging, which I have in the other Chrome window over here, let me clear this one. Ooh, I wanted to see this X button, so if I clear that, let me refresh this page. Not sure it's interactive anymore, so we're looking at the logs. Okay, so I'm going to refresh this page. Yes, we're getting the logs. And I just add a box. Bam. Okay, so it's attempting to autosave, and it says didn't autosave. This happens pretty quickly. So if I close this, there's no output for the delete, but bam. Okay. So that was... So we know it's going down the path of didn't autosave, which happens at the trigger autosave. We go through didn't autosave, comes back to the add entity path. Then we are making an attribute and we're saying create the entity. So this has to happen. So it could be that there's a delay here. Oh, and then we reload all the entities for the space. Okay, this is taking a while. I don't think we need to do that, because we just added an entity. We can just append that entity to the end. Right? So we can just do this. We have the entity. Let's say that entities is just equal to oh, we want to append it to the end is a little bit tricky. So we can take, I think we can do this, add two lists together by doing socket assigns entities plus plus and a new entity. And then this entity we will enhance. So we get new entities, selected entity, and we can actually broadcast this a little bit earlier. As soon as this has been successful, we can broadcast that. Not true. not true because this entity doesn't have the components yet. We actually do want this part because we need components inside this entity that we give to the front end. So all that's left was entities, which it has some extra components on there, but I don't think we're any worse for wear. So that should speed some things up. Let's see how this performs locally. So if I do ix start a server, and over here, let's just go to localhost, spaces, enter the space, here's the menu, delete this. Okay, I do see the loading bar. It seems maybe slightly faster. Well, that's going to be fast because it's local. But what did it do here? Insert into entities, insert into components. So we did 3 database requests. And maybe all the components could have been added in one database request. Let's see how we're executing this. Add entity, create entity, build to default components. It goes entity, change set, ecto, create associations all at once. In transaction. Looks like we might want ecto multi, grouping multiple repo operations. Makes it possible to pack operations that should be performed in a single database transaction. Gives way to introspect the queued operations without actually performing them. Each operation given a name, change sets. They will be checked before starting the transaction. Yes, insert, run, multi, to run arbitrary functions as part of your transaction. Okay, example. So multi-new, multi-update, multi-insert, multi-delete. Gives it a name. Ecto, association, insert. Can later execute it in the integration layer using repo transaction, and then pass it all this stuff. So in our code, under spaces, under create entity, we get this thing, and then so this is our multi-new, multi-new, multi alias ecto multi. Okay, multi new and multi insert and entity and get a change set. Okay, so this is the change set. So this gives us our multi. Then we can do, at a later time, repo transaction. Multi insert 3 is not defined. Multi. Okay. Let's see what that does. Come back over here, about, delete that, and add. Okay, crash. Struct not found in entity. Let me see what, where's this error? What line is this? Space edit live 7D. Okay, then it went to channel, telemetry, channel 206, socket. Let me inspect what this is. So what is adders? So IO, pipe this to IO inspect the label of adders. And I want to see what this change set is as well. So IO inspect the label of change set. Let's see if we can get these things to come out. So box. What do we get here? Struct is still not. Maybe let's try restarting. Restart this thing. And there we go. What is the error here? The struct is not found. Yes, but okay, did we get any output earlier than this? Yes, we did. Okay, so we got getting terminated. Okay. Key error. Insert into components. Insert into entities. Oh, this did happen as a transaction. Look, begin. Commit. Okay, so all of these were inserted as one thing. That's great. So the error is happening somewhere else. We get this components, yes. Yeah, that's to change that. That looks fine. Okay, we did the commit, and then it says getting terminated because you have a key error someplace else. Okay, it must be in our return value, maybe. Create, oh yes. What is the return value of this thing? Either you get an error in value or you get an OK in a value. So, okay, so I want to know what that thing is. Let me remove this. Let me remove this. And I want to see what this thing is. Inspect label transaction result. Okay. We get OK, and it's a entity. Oh, okay. So we get this. We get this. We get OK entity. OK, and a map. Tuple of OK and a map that is entity, entity, and what we want to return from here is OK and the entity. Could we have just not supplied something here? Could we have just done this? And what would this have been? No. Let's say. Yeah, we need it. Okay. Okay. Now, what are you complaining about? Struct is not found in it. Okay. One more time. Bam. Okay. Came out. Return value is fine. Move it over to the rows right. And add a cone. Okay. Let's reduce our autosave. Autosave. Let's reduce our debounce maybe. Debounce autosave. Okay, database saves will be no faster than 1 second, or maybe 1.5 seconds. It's actually pretty long. 1 second. 800 milliseconds. And we already have debounce on the front end. Do we even really need this? Where are we using this? Debounce autosave. Where are we using this? So we're only using this inside here, which sets a timer, and maybe we don't need this. What if we just removed debouncing? So we're never setting this debounce business. What would this look like? So if I were to make a change in the cone position, go up. Because it's not scheduled, go back. Debounce autosave. Where is it? Undo. Debounce autosave also schedules the save. So this just says, okay, I'm going to set a timer. Otherwise, I will just send myself this thing. So what it does is just send after autosave, or send immediately, I guess, which is just to say the same thing as calling trigger autosave. So you could just say trigger autosave as well. So if I comment this out, I can just say socket equal trigger autosave socket. If you get to this point, see what happens if I do that. Just for safety, reload this, delete that, and what do I want? Change the position, go up higher, whoops, go up higher, go to the right. Okay, I have to exit the form in order to be perceived as a change, maybe. Come. Didn't send any data. Do the cone, scale up in the Y direction. Okay, so the problem with debouncing in the front is if you change focus, it may not send the information. So anyway, it's working. I think I just want to reduce the time on it. So let's keep this, make it shorter. And what's the debouncing on the front end? It is debounce. Phoenix debounce is, yeah, that's fine. That's just keeping them from smashing the button again and again. Coming back probably. Reload this. Get this. Let's move the. Turn the cone. Turn the cone. This or something, or like that. And let's move it a little bit. Okay. Okay. Slightly better performance. While we're here, maybe let's change this CSS styling. Where does it come from? Styles. Where does the color come from? Body. Is it this one? Okay, app CSS line 93. Okay. Oh, it's because the background color of this hero thing. This is the thing. PHX hero inside Phoenix.css. We could just not use the PHX hero. Yeah. So look at Phoenix CSS. And I think some of this was Phoenix specific stuff, right? Phoenix logo, Phoenix image, what happens if we just don't include this? Let's just not import this. Oh, okay, this looks terrible. Wow. Okay, we want to keep some. I want to keep some of this. Okay, so we've got app CSS. Yeah, there's really no styles here. Almost no style at all. This is just stuff we made. Yeah, let's bring it back. And but where are we using theme? Whoops. Where are we using Phoenix Hero? That's in the CSS, but it's also here. Okay, what if we just got rid of that? What does that look like? So we go home. It's okay. What's this? This is in a header. So there's a styling on header then, which I'm guessing is also in here. Yeah, header background. What if we remove that? Okay. Okay, let's change this styling. Where does this come from? Okay, this comes from Phoenix modal content. Body. Background color. Phoenix modal content. App CSS line 69. App CSS line 69. Okay. Let's edit this to be less reddish, maybe more bluish. Yeah. That away. Okay, so we want a new space. That seems fine. Okay, and let's keep this change focus. So this was about making the add entity faster. I don't know if we actually succeeded. We're still making a bunch of queries, but hopefully that loads faster. And fix some styling.